2 Timothy 1:7. 2 Timothy 1:7. Listen up. Listen up, then. For God didn't give us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and self-control. For God didn't give us a spirit of fear, reference that to Pisces, but of power, reference that to Scorpio and Pluto. Love, reference that to Virgo and Pisces. And self-control, reference that to Saturn. Let's get it together. Let's get it together. 2 Corinthians 12:9. And he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. For my strength is made perfect in weakness. Understand. Consider this about the house, the natal house that you have, Aquarius, in your natal chart. Understand. Consider this. Consider this. Concerning that Aquarius first degree, at that place in your life, you got a hot ass mess right now, okay? That only requires you to become empowered, self-empowered. And self-empowerment is not outside of you. It's not with somebody else. It's not with something else that you purchase or obtain. It's what you realize about yourself that requires authority and channeling and patience, perseverance, due process, focus, self-determination, maturity. Understand? You got to clean that mess. And right now there's an illusion in that place in your life where you say, I'm helpless. I'm helpless. I am under the power of the circumstance. I'm at the mercy of these people or these things. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're lying to yourself, and you need to stop. Full stop. Pause. Pause. You're lying to yourself. Pause. You're not helpless. You can do something about it, and you're gonna do something about it. Soon as you get your head out of your ass, you're going to do something about it. Pause. It's time to change that. This Cazimi is going to shine light on where your power has been all along. And once you get a glimpse of that, you're also going to take notice. I have to pair authority with this power if I am to utilize it effectively. That's when you draw off of your lessons of Saturn to pull you through. The grit, the strength, the discipline, the obedience and command inside of self, maturity, grounding, due process, putting on the character that gets you there. This is not a DEI timeline. Understand. We're going to earn everything from here forward. And you're more than able, you're more than capable. Mahatma Gandhi said, the day the power of love overrules the love of power, the world will know peace. The day the power of love overrules the love of power, the world will know peace. Consider that. Abraham Lincoln quoted, nearly all men can stand adversity. But if you want to test a man's character, give him power. Give him power. John Steinbeck, right? Power does not corrupt. Fear corrupts. Perhaps the fear of a loss of power. Perhaps the fear of a loss of power. John Steinbeck. Plato, the measure of a man is what he does with power. Eli Wiesel, untimely, the only power to which man should aspire is that which he exercises over himself. Understand. Collectively, don't miss the fact that the Pluto Cazimi, this activates in present time, in live time, collectively with the people. Disillusionment concerning Aquarius themes or 11th house, that which occurs over media, that which occurs over and through media. And as far as Aquarius, that which occurs in society or through society. We're in the outer ring now of Saturn. So what this looks like is, we will question you. We will remain suspicious of you. We will seek to uncover the truth. We will discover and find out and expose the truth. This now becomes the consciousness of the people. This now becomes the attitude of the people. This is the turning point, where every person becomes a detective of their own. Exposure. So there obviously would be a lot of challenges ahead, collectively, especially if Saturn gets closest to Aries, where our identities will obviously be subject to many restrictions. This begins the story of why they will increase restrictions over our identities, because we're getting in touch with our collective power to give pushback to the illusion, spells, magic, sorcery, witchcraft that they want to use over us. Understand? So let's talk about the Pluto Cazimi. This is Pluto conjunct the Sun in transit. The Sun is hosting the themes and reality and current timeline and live timeline of the soul and the soul's journey. It's where you are at currently in reality. It's the presence of the soul's experience, not the past, not the future. It is the present moment, the present time of the soul's experience in physical reality. Understand? The Sun also represents what we identify with when it comes into relation with another planet or impulse. When the Sun is conjunct a planet, you are identifying with that particular impulse. The crossing of a planet with the Sun, called Cazimi, this causes the planet to be activated or revitalized. The light, the life force of the Sun, it rebirths the energy of that planet back into its youthful state. Youthful state meaning it revitalizes it back to its full potency, its purity, unaffected by its past experiences, releasing what was bogging it down. This is like, instead of you getting the, hitting the 87 on the gas pump, you're going to hit the 93 on the gas pump. Understand? All right? So this time you're going to get the good shit. When the planet crosses the Sun, it's now the good, rich fuel, okay, of that planet. When this is the case, we feel the full potency of that impulse and we identify with it. And what I mean by identify with it, it takes a predominant, noticeable effect on our sense of awareness with ourself. So because this is Pluto, we are identifying with our Scorpio themes in ourself. We are identifying with our power. We are identifying with our transformative features and faculties. We are identifying with our instincts. The amygdala takes strong, influential disposition with the soul. In this case, we become instinctual. We become resilient. We feel empowered. With Pluto being revitalized and crossing the sun, this is helping us because before the sun got to Pluto, we're pulling intuitively upon what we have to do concerning our power or empowerment, what type of empowerment we have to step into, what type of power we have to move to see a good outcome, to see a confident circumstance in the view that is ahead. We're already intuitively pulling off of that message with ourselves. With the Cazimi and with the conjunction that is, we get to be in the present reality of what that looks like. This is connecting the plug to your power where you feel empowered to actually take control of your life, of your circumstance, of what you expect the reality to be ahead. You're going to take control of it. Because this deals with the Lord of the underworld, this moves through street wisdom. Street wisdom. This moves through underground instinctual attitude and knowing. This is not a corporate direction ahead. This is not a quote unquote proper way to go. You're relying on your street smarts to get you through. You're relying on your street smarts to let you know what is or what is not, what is valid, what is invalid, what is appropriate or what is not appropriate, and how you got to move power. Anytime we're dealing with Pluto, Pluto has this thing about her, Oya, where she always wants us to be in full sight of what the truth is. She can't help but to show us the truth. She doesn't want us to be blindsided. So she's always going to keep us in view of what the actual reality is, what the truth is. You're not going to be caught off guard when it comes to Pluto. So she puts the truth on you, revealing to you reality of matters, reality of things, so that you can be disillusioned and not be moving through gas, not be moving through vapor. Understand? Getting true results by moving power. And we move power with what? Authority. That's right. You've been listening. We move power with authority. And authority goes to who? Goes to Saturn. Now, our authority just got a checkmate. Okay? What this looks like collectively, as an example, TikTok ban took place at the conjunction of Venus and Saturn. That's where that came from. Okay? The astral body, which is how we come together upon what we desire, what we want to feel, what is pleasurable, what is artful, what is luciferic, okay? That is the people, the subscribers to the app. Saturn is a restriction, okay? And that restriction is here to give you a karmic glimpse of yourself. Like, yo, you have an addiction. Get yourself together. Why are you sweating and going through convulsions because you can't access the app? Why are you getting depressed all in the bed, getting sick? What's wrong with you? You understand? So it's basically asking you, grab hold of your authority over your life. Grab hold of the control over your life. What are you doing? Get yourself together. You're an addict. You got a problem and you need to fix it. And after that lesson was revealed, okay, Venus got 1 degree past Saturn, which is today. And the 1 degree past Saturn today, lo and behold, the ban is lifted. Okay? Obviously, Venus is going to go into retrograde soon. We'll talk about that another time, so it's possible that we could revisit this theme later on. However, it was obviously meant to show us our condition, the condition of our astral body, and whether or not we're checked out of reality. Are we practicing escapism? Do we have an addiction? Do our children have an addiction? Are we having an addiction in front of our children or with our children? All of these things. I made a video about that. You can go check all that whole spill out. But there's some things, okay, in the water of Pisces concerning the blood, generational curses, all right, so on and so forth. Are we contaminating the blood? Are we contaminating the water by how we're spending our time? What we're doing with our astral body impulses? Understand the foolishness that we are putting so many hours and minutes into in a day, okay? Entertainment, sitting there, you put a mouse on top of your head and you go viral. You understand? Meanwhile, kids in other countries who are not indulging in this, they're coming over here in H1-B visa cards and smoking their ass in tech, smoking their ass, in the college campuses. And you wonder why. Why our kids have become so fucking dumb, okay? I know you don't like me saying it, but when we gonna deal with the truth? So that was a reality check is what that was. Now, you have a choice. What are you gonna do with what you were shown from that? Are you gonna pretend like you didn't see it? You're going to pretend like you didn't notice that you got an addiction. You're going to pretend like you didn't notice that your kids was about to fall apart, something wrong with them. You didn't know. People are going to pretend like they didn't notice certain things, okay? But what happens when we run from the truth, when we become a fugitive from the truth, what happens? Who has to come and get us? Who is the warrant officer, okay? Who is the sheriff that has to come and get us? Who's the bounty officer, the bounty hunter that has to come and get you? It's Pluto through disillusionment, okay? Disillusionment is the bounty hunter of the one who's a fugitive from the truth. When you are running from the truth, the very thing or the very person that you run to in opposition to the truth will become the very thing that gives you disillusionment in and of itself, and it will hurt. Until you find the resilience and humility to accept the truth that you ran away from in the first damn place. When we gonna stop playing with the truth? Understand? So anyway, Saturn had to do with checking our personal authority. The authority check has to come first so that the astral body does not short circuit the interests of the entire being. Listen, the authority with the astral body had to be checked first so that it does not compromise the power of the entire being, okay? So this issue with Saturn, TikTok, and how it manifested in your life personally, I don't know, because you would have to tell me where this is at in your house, all right? And you need to get a reading for that to understand what this means for you personally. It could be a whole different story. So don't go out here guessing shit that you don't fucking know. All right? So Pluto moves power, but Saturn and Venus deals with the authority that you have over your astral body. And because in the past timeline, we came from worshiping the ways of women, feminism, liberalism, worshiping our astral body, indulging in our astral body, exploiting our astral body, spoiling our astral body, getting intoxicated in our astral body, the authority of the astral body had to be checked first. Understand? Because if not, the astral body will spoil the power of the entire being, which is through Pluto. Okay? Because authority, Saturn has to move Pluto or power. Okay? That's how you move your power through authority. When you do not move your power with authority, you become oppressive to yourself and others. You become abusive to yourself and others. You become a tyrant to yourself and others. You cause damage. You cause destruction. You cause regret. And because you lack the strength of Saturn, you will not take accountability for it. Understand? So that's how this works. So Pluto Cazimi has to come after that. Okay? Because power follows behind authority. Understand? So Pluto Cazimi is dealing with where the timeline is going to move in our life. Okay? That starts the transformational processes of us evolving to become, okay, the instinctual being that aligns with the reality that we're passing through, okay? Pluto is transforming our instincts. It's transforming our relationship with our personal power. It's transforming our psychic forces and capacity. It's transforming the constitution that we have and trust that we have with and in and for ourselves. It's transforming our instinctual connection to where we feel authorized and where we feel empowered or not. When we lack a sense of power or empowerment in our life, we blame the consequence and result of what we experience on other things or other persons, or even on the circumstance. Pluto is showing you, yes, you're in a pickle. You have a mess here. You got everything in the way, but you have power over all of this. But you have to get in touch with your authority to move the power that you have. Otherwise, you're going to be somebody who blames everything on circumstance and blames everything on everybody else instead of using your power to change your reality, to move your reality, to transform your reality. This is a problem that human beings have. Blaming everything on, oh, I couldn't because excuses. Where is Pluto moving in your life? Which house is it moving in? Right here is where you're going to learn to stop having excuses for the outcome that you get. You're going to learn to step up and show power instead of have excuses. You're going to find reasons to go forward, ways to go forward, instead of excuses to stay stagnant or go backwards. All right? So it's addressing places where you have constant excuses for what you suffer, constant excuses for what you're subject to. Understand? All the excuses are going to be addressed and dealt with boldly, directly, with resilience. Now, get yourself ready. Get yourself ready. Because what this Cazimi, what it clarifies is that your reality is now going to be identified with the process of transformation, the process of empowerment. These two things. I need to transform and I need to become empowered. What do I need to do? What do I need to know? Understand? These two things. What do I need to know? What do I need to do? Okay? To move power. What do I need to know? What do I need to do to transform? Okay? Because we're cutting the excuses. To go ahead, there are obstacles, there's resistance, there's blockage, there's troubles, there's all type of stories, there's ocean waves that are very violent, unstable seas, okay? A rocky ocean. Understand? Turbulence. There's storms out there in the water. But you are more than able. You are more than capable. And Pluto's going to show you that. So, what Pluto does is it faces you with realities that appears as if you're powerless and helpless. There's nothing I could do. They're out to get me. I don't have this. I don't have that. Well, I don't got it like this, or I don't got it like that. Well, if I had what this person had, or if I was able to do what that person, well, what are you able to do? What do you have to do something with? What do you know that you could utilize and put into practice? And what do you have the ability to learn, to understand, to educate yourself in so that you can move more power in your life? That's what this is really about. For us to move to those first 10 degrees of Aquarius, the first decan of Aquarius, all right, we are going to have to pull on some resilience. What's going to trample us, what's going to stop us every single time is the inability to let go of what we preferred to be the truth, of what we wanted to be true. Learning to let go of how we wanted the scales of justice to turn out, but it didn't. But we keep clinging to it. Learning how to let it go in order to embrace and accept the reality that is. I wanted that to be something else to be true, but it's not. So let me find the courage to accept it. Let me find the resilience to accept it. Let me accept how it is. There's things that I can't change. I'm going to have to accept what I can't change. And you can't lie to yourself about what you can't change. How many times do we say, I can't do this or I couldn't do that? But yes, you could do it. You can do it. But you like to surround yourself with people who help you to say you can't do it, who help you to say, oh, poor baby, you were helpless. There was nothing you could do. It's not your fault. You love to be surrounded by people who love to tell you those type of things so that you can lay your ass down and blame it on everything and everyone else. But really, you were empowered all along. But you want the woe is me, poor baby, poor baby. Understand, this is the reason why we got fire in Cancer right now, Mars in Cancer right now. That righteous anger is coming from what I'm describing to you right now. The lack of empowerment. And lack of empowerment doesn't come from somebody else empowering you. It comes from you empowering yourself, because Scorpio does not wait on somebody else to empower Scorpio, which is the algorithm of Pluto. Okay, it is self-determination with Scorpio and Pluto. Self-determination. I self-lord and master. I will transform myself. I have resilience to face any reality and truth, knowing that death only means I'm going to resurrect greater. There's nothing to fear. It's cutting the excuses. As it relates to Aquarius, this has to do with efficiency in your life through innovation, collaboration. Innovation and collaboration, you're going to have to pull off of your Uranus. What is the characteristic of your Uranus in your natal birth chart? That's where your genius is at. Finding the self-confidence through your authenticity, okay? The more authentic you become, the easier this will be. The more fake you are, the harder it's going to be to utilize that Uranus in a safe, clean way. Your Uranus is messy as long as you're not authentic. You're walking around here like a fake-ass nigga, a phony-ass motherfucker. The shit ain't gonna fucking work because you're fake. The sooner you could get real with yourself, the sooner you could get sincere, the sooner you could get true to who you actually are, the more natural, the more smooth it is for you to utilize the power of Uranus in your life. And Uranus gets you straight to authentic innovation in your life that comes from genius, revelation frequencies from up high. Understand. And through Uranus, there's nothing that you cannot maneuver through. Nothing. It makes you MacGyver in every situation. For those who are old enough to understand who MacGyver is. These are the frequencies of mastery because we're stepping into Aquarius. This involves Saturn, the outer ring, which is the aspect of mastery, okay? The inner ring is the discipline, the obedience that achieves mastery. The outer ring is you having mastery. Now it's time to serve through that mastery. Okay? To serve through that mastery. And this is what brings together the genius of Uranus and the mastery of Saturn. Okay? These two things. Understand. Outer rings of Saturn means you have learned to have control over the self. You are master of the self. You are the determining force over self, your consciousness. There's no excuses that come with you. If something happened, it's because you created it to happen the way that it did. If something does not happen, it's because you did not facilitate or create the means for that to happen. And this is what we have to accept. Rather, it's your health, your relationships, your finances, your daily schedule, the results that you get in the workplace, career, your relationship with your children, siblings, your wife, your husband, all of it. It comes back to these same principles. So, Pluto Cazimi, this is a time where you are identifying with your Scorpio algorithm, because Scorpio algorithm is how you relate to Pluto in and of itself. Your natal Pluto placement is the personality of your impulse called Pluto. All right? Your power. It's the personality of your power. It's how your power works. However, the essence of Pluto in and of itself as a spirit or as an algorithm is through Scorpio. Now, where is Scorpio at in your natal birth chart? That's a place where you want to contemplate and understand what that looks like for you. For all of us, we have Vesta and Juno and Scorpio. With Vesta and Juno and Scorpio, there is a strong pull to give specific concentration to the aspect of ourself known as Scorpio, which this is a very strong pull and awareness of our constitution personally, our ability and capacity to trust and rely upon ourselves, how much self-determination that we have, how much in control of ourselves that we feel, regardless of what the outcome is or regardless of what we might have to face, that we feel prepared to face anything because we know that we could trust self. We could trust ourselves to follow instructions of our intuition and of our instincts. We could trust ourselves to show obedience to our instincts and intuition. We have learned to trust ourselves, to have resilience. It's okay if I get rejected. I'm not going to die. It's okay if I get betrayed. I've learned how to deal with rejection. I learned how to deal with betrayal. I am ready for anything. This is what this is helping us to do. This forward motion after this conjunction of Pluto and the Sun, it should have us feeling full of power, supercharged, ready to go. I got this. Because all that we had to pass through before, if we were staying present with ourselves, if we were learning our lessons, we feel more than enabled right now. We feel capable. This is not intimidating for those who prepared themselves. But you're bullshitting around, yeah, you got a lot to be concerned about. Because Pluto got some shock for your ass. Understand? Spit your drink out. Yeah. Drop your ice cream, nigga. You gonna drop your ice cream. Understand? Pluto will make you drop your ice cream. So, Pluto conjunct the Sun, your power, empowerment. Knowing where your power is at, knowing what empowerment means for you. Now, because this is Aquarius, it's about your service. What do you have to serve the people with? What service have you prepared over your experience to deliver to the people? Rather it's a process, a community, your family, organization. This all depends on where Aquarius is at in your natal birth chart. For all of us, the 11th house is where this applies. For all of us. We all are going to have a connection at the 11th house through technology. Technology is going to get sharper. Technology is going to get faster. It's going to get smarter. And it's going to make the world much smaller, smaller and smaller and smaller. And what I mean by that is we are going to be far more accessible to each other in far more ways, more capable of exchanging value in unimaginable ways from this time forward because of the context of Aquarius dealing with technology. Therefore, the 11th house is an emphasis of where we all are about to relate to very deeply and intimately. Understand? The world is about to get much smaller. With Pluto moving themes of power, you're going to face power struggles. This is inevitable. Power struggles. Power struggles with other people. And power struggles with your damn self. Struggling with yourself to be honest. Struggling with yourself to be sincere. Struggling with yourself to keep it real with yourself about where you're bullshitting. Where you're playing yourself. Where you're running away from the truth. Where you're setting yourself up for failure. Where you're practicing the definition of insanity. Where you refuse to use and utilize your talents, your gifts, your resources, your capabilities, your talents, your skills, your knowledge, your relationships, your strength, your health, all that you have to stay in power in your life. And staying in power in your life has nothing to do with dominating other people. But that's what we will resort to when we lack true power. Domination of other people and domination of other people's identity and resources. That's toxic. We're supposed to learn that already. Pluto also deals with billionaires. This deals with billionaires, all right? So, your Mark Zuckerbergs, you know what I mean? Your Vivek Ramaswamys and all this other stuff, okay? In fact, the president himself, you know, Donald Trump, you know, billionaires are about to change the reality of our world, okay? Elon Musk, so many others. Billionaires are about to change the reality. Pluto represents billionaires personally, okay? You can't be a billionaire and not be under the direct motion of Pluto, okay? So, billionaires is what changes the world. It changes the landscape of society. Look at the Rockefellers, okay? The Rockefellers are the one that gave us that toxic ass oil that they use at these fast food places that was originally, intended for automobiles. But here it is in our food, making all of us sick, okay? Who also made college education more remote and accessible to the common person. And who also designed it so that women were exploited for that reason and intention, okay? Pulling them out of the family unit, weakening the family unit, empowering women. And that was a perfect way to place a shadow infrastructure behind liberalism and capitalism through corporation. The empowerment of corporation. Putting corporation on steroids through women. And college education that was easily accessible. Putting people in extreme debt. Okay? These are greedy, filthy, rich billionaires who did atrocious things. Okay? They're the ones who started the state of Israel, which has nothing to do with God's expression of Israel. It has everything to do with politics and Zionism. Okay? Everything's about money with them. There's benefits to what they do. There's also harm to what they do. You have to take the good with the bad. And it's not going to be any different with Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, or any of these other billionaires. The BlackRock behind, affairs that, you already know I'm getting at with all of that. Okay? So they're going to bring technological advancements. Because again, we're talking in the context of Aquarius. When this was in Capricorn, it was about advancements and empowerment through billionaires of institutions, of the infrastructure of businesses, the infrastructure of corporations, the infrastructure of government, secret societies, okay? Now that it's in Aquarius, it's about empowerment through technological advancements, futuristic, technological, innovative concepts that revolutionizes the way that humanity relates and functions. So now this starts the timeline with this Cazimi, and now we're going to get on the highway. It's like we were going down the road where you go 25 miles per hour, and then you make that right and you go 45 miles per hour, okay? Then you had to go 35 again, right? And you make that exit, and now we're finally on the highway where we got to accelerate fast, all the way up to 75 miles per hour. Now we're on the highway. You got to set the cruise control at 75 miles per hour. This is where we start going 75. Okay? All that time behind us from the 29th degree of Capricorn all the way to the 1st degree of Aquarius, that was 25, 35, 45 miles per hour. No. After this Cazimi, it's 75 miles per hour. Okay? We're going at full speed now. Technological advances are going to give you whiplash on how fast it's going to come out. The inventions, the acceleration, the speed of life and technology. Understand? In your life, personally, you are going to have transformations that are dramatic. It's going to shock you how much you change and transform over short periods of time. Just remember, every year, while Saturn is in direct motion, we change, we make progress, we transform, we meet goals. And then when Saturn goes retrograde in the fall, when the outer planets go retrograde in the fall, that's when we take a break. That's when we rest and we do introspect. We do review. We do cleanup, right? We detox, okay? We get the oil change, right? You grease and oil the parts. You clean your gun. All right? You shower and you rest. Okay? Right now it's time to get it all the way up until the fall. Remember that. Okay? Keep this in mind, because when you keep this in mind, it helps you to know that there's an order to things, and you're less likely to give up or panic when you know that there's an order to things. All right? When you know that the Most High, through the perfect wisdom of his universe and the Elohim or Orishas, they expect you to perform for a certain measure to get to a certain distance. Give it all you got. Because a coach is going to blow the whistle sooner or later, and they're going to tell you, hey, all right, take a knee, get some water. All right, we did a good job today, guys. We did a good job. I want you to hit the shower. We need to work on this. We need to work on that. Come back refreshed. That's how this works. You know what I mean? It goes in increments. You don't just open up full throttle 365 days. No, it don't work like that. You will start to catch on to the patterns of this universe if you pay attention. Remember, everything is by what? Seasons. It's by seasons. Okay? Everything is by seasons. This is a season where we start the race forward. And in the fall, we retract and we review. We go over it. You're not going to move in the timeline. You're not going to make progress. Everything goes internally with the progress. Right now is to make external progress. We just finished the internal progress over the winter, well, over the fall. The outer planets are in full motion, except for Jupiter that just went retrograde. Neptune, is a late runner, okay? But however, the main planets that I'm talking about that's moving the timeline, Pluto and Saturn, are direct, okay? So this means we have to make external motion. When the outer planets are retrograde, we make internal motion, okay? Keep that in mind because it helps. It makes a big difference so that you're not out here tripping, crying, and panicking when it's time to get it, all right? You know that it stings when you lift in the muscle, when you lift in the weights, you're doing the curls, you're doing the squats, and it's burning, but you already know in your mind, I got to get 12, right? I got to get 12. You're at 8 and it's burning. If I could just get one more, okay, one more. I'm almost there. This helps you to go. But if you don't know the number, if you don't have an intention set on how many you're going to do, you wilding. You'll give up. Okay? You got to compartmentalize so that you can focus. Understand? So Saturn is dealing with forming the character that you need for this timeline. Okay? Pluto is dealing with the empowerment that you need for this timeline. Okay? So you have to carve and form your character through Saturn. You have to form and supply, sustain your own empowerment, okay, through the timeline of Pluto. So empowerment through Aquarius, authority through Pisces, okay? Authority and character through Pisces means the objective is to clear the curses in the blood in order to have the right character, okay? Pay attention. Pay attention. Now, empowerment means, okay, innovating your lifestyle and approach in such a way that accommodates your genius, your authentic identity, and your revolutionary contribution that you are ready within yourself to give and serve with. Okay? That's what that's about. And you have to transform to step up to that capacity of power. You have to be transformed. And that's the resilience. Constant dying and resurrecting. Dying and resurrecting. Ego deaths. Okay? And this looks like getting used to humiliation. Getting used to rejection, getting used to betrayal, getting used to people trying you, getting used to people challenging you, competing with you, backstabbing you, okay? All that dark underworld stuff, getting used to it, not taking it personal, all right? You got to pull on your street nigga inside of you, you understand, to really show up for that, to step into power. You got to have resilience for that. You can't bitch up, understand? This starts a timeline where collectively we will have a consistent collective stance in seeing through the illusions. Socrates once said, contentment is natural wealth. Luxury is artificial poverty. Contentment is natural wealth and luxury is artificial poverty. We're getting to where real power is at. And it has a lot to do with the psychology that we walk with, the perceptions that we walk with, the ideals that we agree to, the brainwashing that we subject ourselves to, what we are influenced by in the toxicity of the culture, the curses in the blood. Once we purify and cleanse these things, the water points, the water houses, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, once we purify these things, we get back at pure power, true power, not diluted. It was Epicurus who said the fool's life is empty of gratitude and full of fears. Consider Theos, right? Consider Theos, philosopher of what? 600 BC. Understand? 600 BC. Time is the wisest of all things at all, for it brings everything to light. Time is the wisest of all things at all, for it brings everything to light. That is this conjunction. It brings everything to light. Understand? That is this conjunction. Understand? There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. Understand? This goes with the serenity prayer that does indeed crystallize the power and force of Pluto and Scorpio. Father God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. But you have to contemplate every part of that prayer in whole, not leaving one out for the other, nor lying to yourself concerning which part goes with what in your life in that prayer. Understand? If you're a liar, you'll never get to the power. Now, this happens at the same day that President Trump has his inauguration, obviously, and Trump has already announced, okay, that day one he's going to hit the ground running with his leading points. Among his leading points is illegal immigration, obviously. That is manifest through Pisces and Neptune, okay? Illegal immigration. And the illegal immigration is going to affect our society tremendously, dramatically, especially the workforce. It's no secret to anybody, okay? Not, picking on my Latino brothers, I love my Latino brothers just like anybody else, okay? I don't have a problem with people being immigrants, okay? Because everybody in America, well, most people in America are immigrants. That's what makes us Americans, okay? That's what makes us a beautiful country, is the diversity that we have, the different nationalities and cultures, religions, and things of that nature that we have. That's what makes us a beautiful place. What is a problem is when people come illegally, okay? And how that affects the citizens, how that affects the society, how it affects the economy, how it affects the workforce. When people come without due process, when they do not come the correct way, okay? That's the only issue that, that there is with all of this. So this is going to affect the workplace tremendously because, everybody knows that, Latinos, South Americans, pretty much are very heavy in the workforce, okay? This is not something I'm assuming or saying. I'm a blue collar man, so I know firsthand all over America. Understand? I've been everywhere in America, doing this. So, it's going to definitely affect the workforce, okay? A lot of projects through corporations are going to be halted, slowed down, okay, as they figure out the balance. Efficiency could possibly be lost until they figure things out. This also will open opportunities where the workforce can be, doing a lot of hiring and a lot of demanding, people could possibly demand higher wages, from the workforce, all of those other things. This is a revolutionary time. That's why this is a time of revolutionaries, okay? People are going to have the chance to show and display and showcase their talents, their expertise, their genius, their innovative contributions, because they're going to get their shot, okay? With other people removed and with more vacancy in the workforce, this is going to change things because now you're getting fresh minds and fresh personalities, fresh talent, fresh skill, fresh bodies, okay, demographics and everything else into the workforce. This is going to change things. It doesn't mean that everything's going to go better or smooth, but it's going to definitely get different. We don't know exactly what this is going to look like. That's why this is ruled by Uranus. You do not know which way Uranus is going to go or how Uranus is going to do it. Believe me, Shango is surprising, okay? Now, with this effect in the workplace, tremendously, this is going to be a big up for American blue-collar men, okay? This is going to really bless American blue-collar men, okay? Who possibly could have been out of work, limited in work opportunities, career opportunities, business, so on and so forth. There's going to be a lot of room for improvement, a lot of room for progress, a lot of room for efficiency with American citizens in the blue-collar workforce. Blue-collar men are going to go up. They are going to be very strong in America. Very strong. Blue-collar men are about to be very strong. This is a golden age for blue-collar men. Understand? Now, anything that picks up blue-collar men, of course, what it does is it opens up the confidence again for men to get married. It opens up the confidence again for men to feel like they can have a vision for family, to raise children, to have wives, okay, to buy houses and cars and, you know, things that families need. They're going to feel more enabled and more confident and more willing to get in relationships, to get married, and to get stabilized. Understand? So there's always direct and indirect consequences for everything. So basically what this is going to do in the end is going to lead to the confidence returning back to men, the self-esteem returning back to men. Because with so many illegals out of the way, American blue-collar men, they can progress again, okay? They can have a greater chance at, you know, eating their fair portion, you know, in the country that they are citizens of, understand? And once blue-collar men, the common working class citizen in United States, and it's not just blue collar construction, this has to do with anything of service industry that Latinos used to fill, okay? Landscaping, housekeeping, you understand, restaurants, you know, any type of, public service and things of that nature. So many things, okay, are going to open up for Americans to eat their fair share. And it's going to heal. It's going to heal the lack of confidence that men have been feeling in the sexual marketplace. I can't date. I can't get with these women because they intoxicated with this. You got to have 6 figures. You got to be rich. Don't take me on no coffee date. You got to have this, that. You got to have a nice car. You got to have expensive clothes and all these other things. Liberalism and feminism is falling. Okay. That shit fell down like, you know what I mean? Like fucking, it's like George Foreman hit him in the ribs, okay? Feminism and liberalism is down, all right? It's laying on the mat, and the referee is counting 10, all right? I'm talking about knock the fuck out, okay? Feminism and liberalism is done. It ain't coming back. So this is going to wake females up out of their childish behaviors. It's going to wake them up out of their immature perception. It's going to wake them up out of dumbness, okay? Walking around being fucking dumb, all right? They're going to wake up. And with them waking up, they're going to get realistic. They're going to check back into reality because that Saturn conjunct Venus already gave them a personalized reality check. Again, if I don't know your natal birth chart, I can't tell you what that means. But if I know your natal birth chart, I can tell you exactly how that affects you, okay? And it might blow your mind. Understand, okay? So this is a general, you know, view that I'm giving you, but personally, you got to get a reading with me to really know how it's going to affect you. Don't assume, because if you don't understand how to read astrology, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're just assuming, okay? Now, so on both sides, a balance is returning. Where females is coming back to their right mind, because remember, Pluto went direct out of Capricorn into Aquarius conjunct the moon, which symbolizes, which represents the maturity of females returning as a result of Pluto's transformation of the people, okay? Their maturity is coming back, okay? And with their maturity coming back, it's right on time to catch the bus of men who are now being empowered in society, okay? Men are being empowered this time, okay? Men are being lifted up this time. Men are being restored this time. Men are being enriched this time. Men are being put out front this time. Men are ruling the society this time. It is a masculine, it is a man's world this time around as damn, I don't forget his name. It's a man's world, you know what I'm saying? Yo, hold on. James Brown, as James Brown said, you know what I mean? It's a man's world, as James Brown said, okay? This is a man's world now, okay? Understand that. We had a woman's world where we coming from. Now we in a man's world, okay? Donald Trump having the inauguration, that basically salutes the man's world coming in, okay? Now, I'm not saying, let me clarify, okay? Just because I say it's a man's world doesn't mean that it's all roses. It doesn't mean that it's all good, okay? Because just like there's vices with females, there's vices with males, okay? Just like there's a shadow with Venus, there's a shadow with Mars, all right? Just like there's vices with the feminine principle, there's also vices with the masculine principle. It's all the same, because believe me, men are going to oppress just like women did. Men are going to abuse their power just like women did. Men are going to be a damn donkey just like women did. You watch and see. I promise you, okay? Nobody gets it right. Nobody does it perfect, all right? This is to be understood. And I have no problem admitting that. I have no problem saying that, because the point is the truth, not taking personal politics with people or things. Understand? That's the difference between me and a lot of you crybabies out there who can't handle the fucking truth. You go off front, oh, I can't believe he said that. And then you become a fugitive of the truth, and it comes and shows up right in the arms of the one who you ran into in the first damn place. Understand that? So let's get that right. So Pluto Cazimi, men are about to come up. And with men coming up, you're going to start seeing relationships come back into play, okay? People are going to start, dating again, hanging out, getting into relationships, falling in love, having babies and families and things like that. This is what's coming. And that's a good thing. That's a blessing. That's a wonderful thing. And what's good about it also is this time around, we're coming back together with our experience. We're coming back together with wisdom. We're coming back together with trial and error already, under our belt, and learning what is appropriate and what's not appropriate concerning how we relate to each other, so that we're not oppressing and wronging each other. We're supposed to know better now. You know what I'm saying? How to come together. It doesn't mean we come together on the same way that we did in the past, okay? Because, for example, brothers would be stupid, okay, to get married without a prenup. You know what I mean? You know what's going on out here. You get married and you have things that you could lose, and you don't have a prenup. You a dumb motherfucker. You just fucking stupid. Because it's not about, you being in love, and if you really love her, you would trust her, and you would, no, nigga. This ain't about that. Because when you're in love, it's all good. But when the love goes away and you're all at each other's throat, everybody forgets what they said. Everybody forgets how they felt, okay? And you want to chop and block now. So you got to use your fucking common sense out here, all right? So things not going to be exactly as it was. Yes, there's going to be relationships, there's going to be marriages, but this time people are going to be wise enough, okay, to be self-determined and self-empowered in how they go about doing things. And self-determined, self-empowered, and how you go about doing things includes bringing your authority into every situation, to where you're not leaving your neck exposed to the personality or the decisions of other people. Understand? I got me, and that's what Scorpio says. Who do I trust? I am who I trust. Understand? Okay. So men are not going to be willing to be victims of predatorial females anymore. Okay, these greedy predators, except for the dummies with cones on their head standing in the corner jacking off. Okay, these idiots, unfortunately, they deserve what they got coming to them because they're not learning. Okay, they fall for the pretty girls, the girls with the big old butts, the BBLs, all this other stuff. And then you end up in court and they take everything you got, turn your child into a weapon, turn you upside down, shake you for your pockets, and destroy your reputation at the same time. Dumb, 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 dumb. You deserve everything you got, brother. I'm sorry, because you're stupid. You're not paying attention. Understand? So this is what's coming down the pipeline. Relationships are coming back, but relationships are coming back in a way where you can't hurt me and I can't hurt you, because I have wisdom enough to know what to do to not allow you to hurt me if you should decide to. Understand? That's how that goes. So anyway, Pluto Cazimi, timeline of power and empowerment. Remember disillusionment, resilience. When this disillusionment comes, it's only getting you to accept the truth that you ran from in the first place. If you should accept, you get to transform. Understand that. Acceptance comes after. Transformation comes after acceptance, not before. Okay, you have to accept the truth first, then you transform. Okay, because that's what it means really to step into empowerment. And I close with this: the best prayer that goes with Scorpio, the best prayer that goes with Pluto. Father God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change. Grant us the courage to change the things that we can. Grant us the wisdom that we can know the difference. Amen.